let's spend some time talking and prepping for Superman. Let's make our predictions. Beans, what are you expecting out of Superman?
I'm expecting a banger, dude. I'm expecting a great movie.
Okay.
My expectations are high. I'm not even a Superman fan, and my expectations are high. If I don't fall in love with Superman after this movie, it failed. Failed 100%. Okay. If I'm not like Lex Luthor is the most badass supervillain I've ever seen in my entire life, this movie failed. I legit have very high hopes. I think James Gunn is going to kill this. I really do. Listen, this is make or break. For the next 10 projects DC does, this is make or break. If this blows, well, cancel the entire new DC universe because you need Superman to succeed. This is very important.
At least there's no pressure, right?
Yeah, no pressure. No pressure. Yeah, here's what I would say overall. I think James Gunn understands and knows what he wants out of a Superman film, and he wants to keep the original heart of Superman in this movie. That is not what we got with Zack Snyder. That is not a knock to Zack Snyder. Man of Steel is not the
It's not your direct line canon Superman.
Correct.
It's just not.
It is a darker, more somber take on the Man of Steel. All right? I don't think we're going to get that.
Totally agree.
We're not going to get that here. I think we're going to get a nice, hopeful Superman, a young Gunn. He's ready to do good for the world. And he's going to get hit with, the world is not as good as I want it to be. But guess what? If I'm here, I can make it happen. I'm very pumped. I think Corn Sweat is going to kill this. Again, Lex Luthor will be the star of the show, star of the movie, star of the film. We're going to be talking about Nicholas Holt's portrayal of Lex Luthor till the end of time. I really do believe that. Again, very high hopes for this movie, clearly. So I really hope that the electrical guitar playing the theme song does come back in. That'd be sick. So I think I personally think they nailed it. I think where you might get a little concerned is the world building portion, because it almost feels like we might get a little too carried away with the world building. Might just get a little too carried away.
Fair.
I am excited though to see where it goes. So that I have high expectations, high hopes. And honestly, if you're going into this movie with zero expectations and low hopes, I don't know what to say to you, to be honest with you, because you need to be, this is Superman. You have to have hope here. Ugh, gross.
Oh my gosh, you were so again.
No, it's at least,
got it.
No, this at least has to do with character, all right?
Sure.
But my point is,
can you tell yourself that?
Stop it. Stop it. I blame you. Ugh.
I accept this.
Anyways, I don't even remember where I was going with that. Go. It's you. You ruined it.
Hope. I love it. Look at this. Look at you. There's just a Hershey's delicious softness coming out of you right now.
Go jump in a lake.
Yeah, you can later. I love your take on this. I'm doing everything I can to stay really sober-minded about this movie. Okay. The one, and this is a silly thing for me to get caught on. Okay. You provided the hopeful outlook, and I love that. I'm going to join you here in a moment. But first, I'm going to give you my pessimistic side that tends to come out when my hopes start getting a little high. I have a hard time not getting caught up in run times of movie as a barometer of confidence that the movie has in itself. And this movie is coming in at a crisp couple hours. Okay. We're not crossing much beyond that particular threshold. And so I chose to do a little looking back to see the run times of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And I thought it was a fascinating sequence. Volume 1 came in at a fine 2 hour and 1 minute runtime. Volume 2, 2 hours and 16 minutes. And Volume 3 beefed up to 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I am wondering now, can this movie be the equivalent of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 for James Gunn in the DC universe, where it sets a healthy tone for what is to come? I don't know that I'm willing to put the expectations of this movie is going to be an absolute freaking banger, but I do think it's critical, and I do think that it will be good. How good? That's a sliding scale. Are we pushing up to the 9er, or are we drifting down to the? It's a solid 7. Okay, so I think it needs to be somewhere in that 7 to 8 to 9 range, and it's probably going to depend person to person on where they fall with that movie. But what's wild to me, okay, the original Superman trilogy concluded way back in 1983, before even I was born. Okay, so it's been a while. The very next Superman movie that we got was in 2006, a 23-year gap.
That is crazy.
That's
to think about.
wild. With Superman Returns starring Brandon Routh, and Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. But here's the thing, that movie, even though it had 23 dang years, wasn't willing to like start over. It actually felt obliged to essentially carry on from where Superman 3 left off in some ways, which was a really weird and unfortunate move. Because Brandon Routh, like, a phenomenal job as Clark Kent in particular, and he was okay as Kal-El. He was actually probably a stronger Clark Kent than a Kal-El. Not his fault, but the direction that they took with that story was a choice. And I think the survey would suggest not a strong choice. So then we skip ahead to 2013, Man of Steel. Again, we're making choices. Are they good choices? Depends on who you ask. But again, we're not getting, my point is, nobody is willing or has been willing to make the dang layup, to present Superman as he is, which is a shameless beacon of hope, where he's like, well, listen, I believe in truth, justice, in the American way. I believe in the inherent good in people, or at the very least, the potential of people to be good, to choose good, even if their human nature isn't good. We've not had that for decades. And I think that is where this movie can most safely land the Superman plane of present him as who he is in an unashamed fashion. And that's why it's fascinating that James Gunn, one of the peak producers of ironic humor in his movies, is going to be presenting a non-ironic take of Superman as a character. I'm encouraged by the fact that there are multiple other characters that you would not necessarily expect to be in this movie. I totally agree with you. I think Nicholas Hoult is going to be an outstanding Lex Luthor. But I also think we're going to really enjoy Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. I think she's going to be outstanding. And we have lacked a terrific Lois Lane for decades. And that's nothing against Amy Adams. I love Amy Adams as an actress. I don't think she was the right fit at all for Lois Lane.
Can we make that argument with Jimmy Olsen too?
Yeah. Yes.
We're getting a good Jimmy Olsen, it looks like.
Legit Jimmy Olsen, which we haven't had either. So I think James Gunn is willing to make the layups, and if he can incorporate the right amount of weird with the Justice Gang and let Lex be Lex, I think we have an opportunity here to start with a really fresh, young, hopeful Superman, a nefarious Lex Luthor who just wants to kill the dude. It's like, that's great. We need the most pure forms of these characters and not feel like we have to apologize for them. And, roundabout way, James Gunn is the right fit for not apologizing for who you are and for who a character is that he's presenting. And so he may end up being the right fit for the Superman character. I'm not saying that I'm predicting this movie to be in that 9 to 10 range, but I am really hopeful that it's going to land in that solid range that we're going to be really content with in the moment and excited for the future of these characters. So with that being said, here's the biggest question I have for the movie. Who is Ultraman? Because in all of the marketing, they've kept the dude completely veiled, all right, covered from head to toe in the Ultraman suit with the big U on his chest. There are a few options here, and you feel free to add one if you have one that I haven't listed. Is it Lobo? Is it Bizarro? Is it actually just Ultraman? Okay, so an alternate universe's Superman, all right? Is it Supergirl? Or is there another option that you would list there that I have not listed out?
I mean, you could maybe list Connor Kent, but I think it's too early for
Superman
Con-El.
clone.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So that'd be the other one, maybe, but I think those are solid.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's only one on here, though.
Hit me with it.
I think it's Bizarro.
Yeah.
I think it's 100% Bizarro because this seems like the most Lex Luthor thing to do.
Yeah.
Is to be like, okay, I need to introduce somebody that's better than Superman to the American public. What's bigger than Super? Ultra. We're going to go with Ultraman because that one-ups Superman. And that's the most Lex Luthor thing you could do.
Yeah.
It's way too early to introduce Earth 2 or Earth 3. It'd be Earth 3.
Yeah.
Way too early.
Way too early to be introducing alternate universe. I totally agree with you.
And God, no. You got to stay away from what Marvel's doing.
Yep.
That's an L and an L and another L.
Yep.
Okay? Lots
Don't
of L's.
multiverse it.
Right?
Don't do it.
We got Lobo coming in with Supergirl, and I think they're going to stay away from Supergirl in this altogether. I think they're going to keep them apart for this movie, at least. I'd be very surprised if she's...
I don't think she's going to have a primary...
She might
even
cameo.
Secondary, right. It's going to be very cameo, either literally cameo or cameo adjacent. Very, very little more than that.
So to me, I think Bizarro is option one.
Yep.
I think that is the strong contender, the winner.
And doesn't it make sense? I love what you're saying with Lex, too, from a marketing point of view, for him to create the Superman clone, have it go not well in the sense that, oh, this dude's fugly. Like, really not good to look at. It's like, all right, we got to cover him head to toe. How do we make him look cool? Top to bottom, black suit, big U, Ultraman. This is who you want as your hero. I love the Bizarro take. I'm totally on board with
God forbid, don't let him talk.
Right. Just don't say anything.
That's why the mask is covering up everything. Yeah. He's not allowed to speak. We're not allowed to look at him.
Yep. Yep.
So I think that's just the most... You see him going to the Fortress of Solitude. That just seems like a nice little easy way for him to get some Superman DNA. Mm-hmm. He's got the engineer on his side for this. That just it's adding up too much. It just makes too much sense here. And I'm okay with you introducing Bizarro in the first one. Yeah, I really am. Bizarro's not like one where I'm like, oh, hold off on Bizarro. You know? I'm good with this.
Right.
I'm good with this mix. It gives Lex somebody to actually match up with Superman toe to toe from the alien strength category. So that's I'm going to go with Bizarro.
I'm totally on board with you. I think it's got to be Bizarro as well. As you said, way too early. And frankly, it's always too early to start introducing multiverse stuff. Just don't do it. We don't need it. Just don't.
And it could be somebody from the Authority.
Sure.
I just don't think that makes sense because I don't think anybody would care if the mask gets pulled off and they're like, oh, it's another member of the Authority. Because nobody's going to know who that is.
Yeah. It'd be real tricky if they somehow managed to make it Supergirl because of how substantially sized Ultraman is being shown in the marketing. Like that would take some doing to have duped us in that way this whole time. So is it possible? Sure. It just seems a lot less likely. There's a path. It's just a really narrow path to get there.
There is one other one we left out.
Okay.
Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he pulled the trigger on Doomsday.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the way he was received, the last time he graced the screen, I think they're going to hold off on Doomsday. So.
Yeah, as they should.
There we go.
As they really should. Okay, second question for you. Which of the, let's call it supporting cast of heroes, are you most looking forward to seeing in action? So we got Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. You got Hawkgirl. You got Mr. Terrific. Metamorpho is involved as well. I think that covered it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to throw the Engineer in there, but obviously Engineer is more.
Guy Gardner is up there, but after reading World's Finest, I'm pumped for Metamorpho.
Yeah.
That seems like a weird pull for me, but
I respect
that dude is a Swiss Army knife, and he's going to be so much fun to see on the screen to the point where I'm like, let's see what you do with him. That's a guy that I would watch a TV show on. That's a fun character.
I like that.
So I am all aboard on the Metamorpho train. That's one. Guy is a layup. That he's going to be fine. He's going to be great. I know what I'm going to get out of it. I am way more interested to see what they do with Metamorpho, how much effect he actually has. I'm assuming Kryptonite's going to come into play with him because he can.
Right.
That's something he can do.
Generate it. Yep.
So I'm sure that's why Lex has him. I mean, there's a whole storyline. It's just playing out in my head. But the point is, that's my choice.
That's great. I'm going to say Mr. Terrific because ever since Eddie McPhee got done dirty in X-Men First Class as Darwin,
the guy that can adapt to anything but dies immediately.
It's like, well, that didn't add up.
Liar.
I've been lied to here. Mr. Terrific is a extraordinary character. Anyhow, he's a relatively new character that's been introduced in the comics. I say relatively, so not in the last 10 years, but he's been worthwhile every time he's shown up in the comics. He is exceptionally intelligent. He's a very tech-based character, so I love the blend of folding him into a partnership of sorts with Superman. I think he's going to be a lot of fun to watch him cut loose with his tech as well.
There you go.
Super looking forward to that. Last thing I'll say is I am also really looking forward to our guy David Cord Sweat and seeing his Clark Kent. Because for as much as I love Henry Cavill as Superman, I think he was a really ill-fitting Clark Kent. That part never really worked.
He wasn't allowed to be Clark Kent.
And that's the thing. Absolutely. Didn't have much time, didn't have much opportunity. The dude, you look at him, you're like, sure, Superman, totally get it. But then you look at him in Clark Kent, and you're like, what? This doesn't make, you can't make this guy look like Clark Kent. David Cornsweet, I mean this in the highest praise possible. I can see getting a little more chameleon-esque with, he can fit into that Clark Kent sphere a little bit better. So I'm looking forward to that in a low-key way.